Hey everybody, this is Arturo from Martina's studio with a new video talking about storyboards and visual storytelling. I'm developing some of the scenes, some of the sequences that go on in my project Jason Contra Gigantes, and I love to figure the story out in a visual way. I'm by no means a writer. So I try to follow a sequence, like I do a drawing, and then the next one is like, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. You just keep going. You start coming up with ideas, but you have to start somewhere. And if I have a tip or a recommendation that I can give, is if you've never done this before, or if you don't know where to start, I'd say start with that pesky scene that you have in your head, the one that keeps on playing. And it doesn't have to be a complete scene, and it can be like a short sequence, an action beat, a dialogue scene, like an intro, or like I said, in the middle of the action, or just before the action, or even just after the action. You can start with the end and figure out how you got there. Like I said, I keep mulling these things over in my head as the days go on. I keep it in the back burner. I have a lot of freelance work that I have to do sometimes, so I like to do these sorts of things like at the end of the day or on the weekends or something. But like I said, what I usually do for these sorts of things, like where I know that Jason, the main character, is going to battle one of the giants, I usually start sketching out some poses that might work. Here you will see some quick sketches or studies that I did of Jason using one of the spears that he uses to battle the big octopus, or what is it, cuttlefish type giant, or giant cuttlefish. And you start looking for reference of javelin throwers from the Olympics, or people throwing a spear or holding a spear or using a particular weapon with a blade at the end or at both ends. And you do your studies, and you see what can be done, or what ideas you might get from those. Or you just, like I said, start sketching those, and then you'll start sketching small thumbnails of little shots or bits of the sequence. Like you can see here, the ones up top are they were tiny thumbnails that I did as I was working on those pose sketches or action sketches. So once you go through the whole sequence in a rough level, you get a rough idea of what's going to happen, then you can start refining the sketches as you go. After that, you can add some lighting. Some people can add lighting from the get-go, but I wanted to have something that's a bit cleaner. But like I said, you can start with one key shot, like one key sequence. From what you saw at the beginning, I showed the very beginning of the sequence. I showed it's an echo of the first sequence where Jason meets the character of Lust for the first time, where she's standing by the cliff and it's raining, and he walks up to her and he starts a conversation, and that's from the other sequence. And this one, it had to echo the same thing, but in this case, she starts the conversation because she knows how their meeting up ends up. There's usually a physical interaction, and she knows how to influence him, or how to control him. So, but this time Jason is different. He's more mature. He's determined. He's more grown up, and he's not having it. So he starts with a bang. He assaults her, and then she transforms and shows her true self. And after that, she collapses the cliff, and to get him to fall into the water. That way, she has the upper hand in the water. But then he slips from that. He escapes, and she has to come out of the water in her giant octopus cuttlefish form, and face off with Jason. And that's what he needed to do. He needed to get her out of her element and do what he could to defend himself. In this case, he covers his eyes because she can hypnotize him, in quotes, in a sort of way. The way she influences him, or the way she captivates him, is through the eyes, because she's a very beautiful woman, and she can shapeshift, and she can adjust her appearance to suit his needs in that particular way. But anyways, like I said, I go figuring these things out as I work or as I'm sketching, and that's what I would recommend. You can work small. By small, I can mean one shot. I can mean like a thumbnail. It can be an actual like 2-inch by an inch drawing, or even smaller than that. Start figuring things out. I mean, and try to vary the shots. You know, like from far away, from mid shot, from behind, head on, from a profile, up close. You know, you start to switch it around, to keep it interesting, but try to maintain the sequence. Try to keep your eye on the ball, which is continuing the story, figuring the story out, going from A to B to C, or from the starting point to the finishing point. And how you get there is you can show broad strokes. And that's pretty much what I did here. It's not verbatim, like this is from the first frame, this is what happens, and then this. I skipped a couple of shots here and there. I also didn't want to emphasize the character's nudity too much, because it falls in the face of what I'm trying to to fight, because I didn't want to emphasize her nudity or her body parts or anything. So I kept it from pretty far away in that sense. And what else? Yeah, like I said, you can show some keyframes. I'm trying to think of this cinematically, because my intentions for this, I have a vision more of it being like either a short animated video, because I don't really know much about animation, but you have to start somewhere. I know it's super hard, but yeah, aim big. Have a big vision for this, and because they can work like vignettes. Like every giant that he faces is a different art style and a different medium, per se. And that's like a cool experiment, cool idea that I have. Like all of these are very similar, but they're very rough storyboards. You can see more of these like there on that address at my Instagram account. I share all of these rough storyboards that I do for this project. I love sharing it on Instagram. It's very quick and easy, and you can keep up with how the story is coming along if you're interested. Because I'm figuring it out as I go. Like, I really don't know where this is going, but I know what I want it to be, and I'm having a blast working on it, which is the key thing. This video is almost done. I'll show you how these came out when I added some tone and some values and a little bit of color to the piece, and you can let me know what you think. I'm doing this because I saw that's how they did Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm like, I like that way of thinking. I can try that out. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you like it. Subscribe to check out more videos and more videos from the project Jason Contra Gigantes. Stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.